As we grow older, we expect certain things to come with age: wisdom, peace, and above all, respect. But for many seniors, especially those deep into old age, the reality can feel very different. One of the most painful experiences for any elderly parent is noticing that their adult children no longer treat them with the respect they once did. Maybe they interrupt you, dismiss your opinions, or make decisions about your life without even asking. Maybe they talk down to you like you're no longer capable. Maybe they only call when they need something, or don't call at all. Whatever form it takes, disrespect from your own children can cut deeper than any other kind of hurt. But here's the truth: you're not powerless. Today, we're going to talk about 6 powerful ways that seniors can regain the respect they deserve. This isn't about confrontation or control. It's about reclaiming your voice, setting boundaries, and showing that old age does not mean invisibility. Whether you're in your 60s, 70s, or well into your 80s, you are still the parent. You still matter. And today, we're going to remind the world and yourself exactly why. 1. Stop tolerating disrespect. Silence is not strength. As a senior, you've lived through decades of lessons, hardships, victories, and growth. That lived experience carries immense value, yet far too often, elderly parents are treated as if their voices don't matter anymore. When you stay silent in the face of disrespect, whether it's being interrupted, dismissed, or spoken to condescendingly, you unintentionally send a message that such treatment is acceptable. It's understandable. Many seniors choose peace over conflict, thinking that staying quiet is the noble route. But silence can slowly chip away at your identity. It can leave you feeling invisible, even in your own family. If every time you're disrespected, you let it slide for the sake of keeping things calm, you're teaching others how to treat you. And here's something important. Setting boundaries isn't about causing tension. It's about maintaining your dignity. When you speak up, not with anger but with clarity, you teach others how to respect your presence, your wisdom, and your worth. Instead of tolerating interruptions, calmly say, "I'd like to finish my thought." If your opinions are brushed aside, respond with, "I've earned the right to be heard, and I'd appreciate you listening." These aren't acts of defiance. They're acts of self-respect in old age. Thriving elders don't demand respect. They expect it. And that expectation starts with their own behavior. If you consistently allow others to dismiss you, over time, you may even begin to dismiss yourself. But the reverse is also true. When you speak up, you give your dignity room to breathe again. Remember, your role in the family hasn't been erased. You are still a parent, a guide, and a human being worthy of consideration. Respect isn't granted because you're aging. It's earned through the way you value yourself, especially when others try not to. 2. Rebuild your confidence. It's still your life. The way you carry yourself as a senior sets the tone for how others interact with you. If you walk into a room with hesitation, avoid eye contact, or second-guess everything you say, people will mirror that energy. But when you walk in with purpose, even quiet purpose, you remind them that you're not just an aging body. You're a fully alive, thinking, capable person in the fullness of your life. In old age, confidence isn't about proving yourself the way it might have been in your younger years. It's about reclaiming your authority, not just over others, but within yourself. Confidence tells your children, "I may be older, but I still know who I am." Think of something you've always enjoyed but haven't done in a while: painting, cooking, writing, mentoring. Re-engaging with those passions shows others and yourself that you are still active, still evolving, still relevant. Confidence also shows up in how you make decisions. If you're able, take ownership of your finances, your health choices, your schedule. Don't wait for others to step in. Let them see that you're still the one steering your life. Even your voice matters. In group conversations, don't shy away, join in. If someone interrupts, continue speaking. If someone speaks for you, correct them. These small actions retrain those around you to treat you as someone who still commands space. And remember, confidence in old age doesn't look like it did at 30 or 40. It's quieter, more grounded, more deeply rooted in self-awareness. That's what makes it powerful. When your children and everyone else see that you still stand tall emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, they can't help but see you through a lens of respect. Thriving elders know that respect begins within, and once it's built there, it starts to show up everywhere. 3. Redefine the relationship. You're not just mom or dad. One of the more subtle ways respect erodes between seniors and their adult children is when your identity gets reduced to a single label. You become mom who needs reminding, or dad who can't hear well, rather than the complex, multifaceted person you've always been. This narrow view is common in families where roles get frozen in time. Children grow up, but their perception of their parents doesn't. But you are not just a parent. You are a thinker, a creator, a survivor, a storyteller. You've lived through decades of change, learned hard lessons, overcome setbacks, and shaped a life rich with meaning. Thriving elders don't let themselves be boxed into a role. They step fully into their identity as complete human beings. Start by bringing more of yourself into everyday conversations. Share not only memories from the past, but also thoughts about the present. What do you think about the world today? What have you been reading or reflecting on? Ask your children's opinions too, not to test them, but to create mutual understanding and equal ground. Talk about your passions. Bring up the work you once did, the hobbies you loved, the dreams you chased. Let your children see you not just as a caretaker or a patient, but as a person with layers, someone still capable of insight, humor, wisdom, and growth. When adult children begin to recognize their elderly parents as equals in conversation, something powerful shifts. Mutual respect replaces obligation, curiosity replaces assumption, and connection becomes deeper. Don't wait to be invited into that kind of relationship. Take the lead in building it. It's not about proving your relevance, it's about reclaiming your identity as a whole person in old age, not just a caretaker from the past. Number 4, set boundaries with love, not guilt. For many seniors, the thought of setting boundaries with their children feels uncomfortable, sometimes even wrong. You might worry that by speaking up you'll seem ungrateful or drive a wedge between you and your loved ones. But in truth, healthy boundaries are one of the most loving things you can offer in any relationship. As you age, your needs and preferences may shift, but they remain valid. You may want more quiet time. You may not want to be talked down to, or have others make decisions on your behalf. You may need emotional space, or simply a bit more consideration. These needs are not demands. They're part of what it means to live with self-respect in old age. When you gently but firmly say, "I'd prefer if you checked with me first," or "that tone doesn't sit well with me," you're not pushing people away. You're inviting them into a better relationship. You're saying, "I still have boundaries, and honoring them is part of respecting who I am. What surprises many seniors is how often adult children respond positively to these boundaries, especially when they're delivered with kindness. In fact, it often improves the relationship. Instead of resentment building up under the surface, there's clarity and honesty. Boundaries also model something important for younger generations. You're showing your children, and perhaps even your grandchildren, that respect doesn't stop with age. That even in elderly years, a person's preferences, feelings, and dignity still matter. Guilt has no place here. You're not making things harder. You're making them healthier. A thriving elder isn't one who avoids conflict at all costs, but one who approaches relationships with clear expectations and compassion. You deserve relationships where your voice is heard, your space is respected, and your presence is valued, not just out of duty, but out of genuine care. Boundaries help make that possible, not by force, but by teaching others how to love you well. Number 5, don't let technology erase you. Stay involved. In today's world, families are moving fast, texting instead of talking, FaceTiming instead of visiting, and sharing life updates through apps and social media instead of at the dinner table. For many seniors, these changes feel like a wall going up between generations. You might feel left out of group chats, miss out on important news, or struggle to stay in touch as communication becomes increasingly digital. But here's the truth. You don't have to be left behind. Just because technology wasn't part of your early life doesn't mean you can't learn it now. In fact, when elderly parents embrace new tools, they show their children and themselves that they're still active participants in life, not just observers from the sidelines. Ask your kids or grandkids to teach you how to use video calls. Learn to send a text or voice message. Try exploring the internet for topics you enjoy, whether it's cooking videos, old music, or spiritual talks. If social media feels overwhelming, just start small. One application, one tool, one way to connect. The goal isn't to master every device or trend. It's to stay engaged in the lives of your family, even if that means learning a new language, the language of technology. When seniors adapt, it sends a strong message. Old age does not mean disconnection. You are still a voice in the room, still part of the conversation, still shaping the family's rhythm and culture. Thriving elders don't resist change. They make it work for them. You don't have to change who you are, but learning to use what the younger generation uses bridges the gap and keeps relationships strong. And beyond staying involved in your family's life, learning technology can help you regain a sense of independence. It allows you to manage your appointments, order essentials, stay informed, and even reconnect with old friends. That kind of connection is more than convenient. It's empowering. You don't need to be a tech expert. You just need to stay curious, stay open, and stay involved. Number 6, lead with wisdom, not control. As a senior, you've lived through enough to know that life doesn't always go according to plan. You've seen what works, what doesn't, and how time shapes everything. That kind of perspective is rare and incredibly valuable. But in families, there's often a temptation to turn wisdom into control. You may feel tempted to direct your children's lives, especially when you see them making decisions you don't agree with. You may want to give advice, correct their path, or guide them in ways they didn't ask for. It's natural. You love them. You want the best for them. But respect isn't won by control. It's earned through presence, patience, and perspective. When you listen first and speak second, you show that your wisdom comes from understanding, not superiority. Instead of jumping in with solutions, try asking, "Would you like to hear my thoughts?" That small question honors their autonomy while also reminding them that you still have something to offer, something deeply rooted in experience and grace. Let your presence be steady, not forceful. Let your advice come from compassion, not pressure. Let your home, your words, and your life be a soft place for them to return, not a place where they feel judged or corrected. The most respected elderly figures in any family or community aren't the loudest. They're the ones who model emotional maturity, who give space, who offer strength without demanding it in return. When your children watch how you handle life's changes, how you treat others, how you respond to conflict or hardship, they're not just observing, they're learning. They may not say it aloud, but they notice the way you carry yourself. And over time, that kind of quiet strength becomes something they admire. In the end, thriving elders know that leadership doesn't require power, it requires wisdom. And the kind of wisdom that comes with old age is something no book, podcast, or influencer can replace. Let that be your legacy, not control, but calm, not commands, but compassion. That's the kind of respect that lasts. Final thoughts. Seniors deserve respect, but it starts with you. In old age, respect shouldn't be earned again, it should be honored. But when it isn't, seniors have every right to reclaim it. You are not just someone's parent. You are a person with decades of life behind you, with experiences no one else can replicate. If your children have stopped treating you with the respect you deserve, you can still shift the dynamic. Through confidence, boundaries, wisdom, and presence, you can re-establish a relationship that's grounded in mutual appreciation. To all the thriving elders watching, your voice still matters. Your presence still matters. You are not invisible. You are not done. And if you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe for more content on senior life, aging with power, and reclaiming your voice in old age. Your story is still unfolding, and it's worth telling with pride.